Hey guys, that's your Raid Shadow Legends with another champion guide, this time on Kalvalax. So, man oh man, I wanted this dude for so long inside the game, and I finally got super lucky. We had an escalating 10 to 20x chance event, on this champion, and not only did I pull one, but I ended up pulling two of them, so we can do some really crazy things in today's video. Before we get to that, some shout outs to you guys. Shout out to Alan Rowe, shout out to Macaulay Moore, Francisco Rozo, Hooch13, Calf, Bryce, John Official Cook, Jules Smith, Matthew. A lot of guide requests for Kalvalax, as you guys can see in the background right now of the video. Let's go ahead and take a look at this amazing Night Revenant Spirit Affinity Legendary Champion. So guys, like we said, this area was all grayed out once upon a time for me. I was able to complete most of the collection here with Kalvalax. However, Carolon the Ringer, I hear he's pretty bad, so I'm really not itching to get him like I was Kalvalax, but he would complete the proverbial collection here in Night's Revenant for yours truly. But anyway, Kalvalax, super cool. He was actually a design contest. It was somebody from the community, the Raid Shadow Legends player base, who won the award for creating a champion inside the game. So I thought it was a really great job. I remember vaguely the original kind of design and then what they were able to make of it. Let me see if I can whip that up really quickly here. All right, guys, so 3 years ago, right, all three authors will receive the following reward for being, the top contestants or whatever. They get 5 Sacreds, 4 Void Shards, 20 Ancients, 800 Energy, 1 million Silver, and 1,000 Gems. Not bad at all for an art contest, I would say. This was the final 3 here, so this is what Kalvalax could have looked like. One of these other champions as well here on these designs. I don't know, that looks like Snick Track, kinda. Don't you guys think? I think they kind of use that for Snick Track a little bit there. And then we have Kalvalax, obviously, that was the design. I think they did a great job. Some people had some negative sentiment, feeling like they did not do the original artist justice. I felt like they did, personally. And then this one, we have not really seen this champion, but she looks really cool. Or she? I don't know. Either way, I love the eyeball and the shoulder and the big, like that is a cool design as well. Anyway, Kalvalax won the competition, and here he is inside the game. He's a legendary attack, has very, very good base attack, 1663. However, his HP is very low at almost 13,000. His defense does make up for a little bit at around 1068 precisely, and then speed around an average at 99. On his A1, Oozing Great Sword attacks one enemy, has a 55% chance of increasing the duration of all poison debuffs on the target by 1 turn. So not just one, but every poison on the target. That's amazing for old school Demon Lord clan boss if you're trying to run an old school or progression poison team. Heals this champion by 2.5% of their max HP for each poison debuff on the target, which is great as well. Gives him some built-in kind of lifesteal mechanics. Also, you can pick up Sniper and bring this to a 60% chance at increasing the duration of all poison debuffs on the target when booked. On the A2, Corruption Locust attacks one enemy, places an extra hit for each poison debuff on the target, so you can get a total of 4 hits, provided that they have at least 3 poisons on the target on the A2. On the A3, Storm of Vitriol attacks all enemies. Damage increases to the number of poison debuffs on the target. This scales off of attack and enemy max HP. We'll take a look at the multipliers in just a moment. And then Pestilence. Really, this is the most important part, the most effective, the strongest, most broken part of this champion's kit. This is the reason that everybody wants to get their hands on a Kalvalax. Places 4 poisons, big version obviously, on all enemies for 2 turns at the start of each round. So before anybody, including Kalvalax, even gets a turn. Then has a 50% chance of placing a poison on all enemies for 1 turn at the start of each turn as well. And then whenever an enemy places a poison debuff on this champion, removes it, replaces it with a continuous heal for 2 turns instead. Very strong on poison combust teams. Rest assured, we will certainly see one of those in today's video. Also, speed in all battles by 19%. A great all battle speed aura to boot. Absolutely incredible champion. Let's talk about where we can use him. But before we do that, as promised, let's take a look at his multipliers before we take a look at the build here. So overall score is going to be a 4.5 according to hellhades.com, guys. They give him really nice ratings, a 5 out of 5 in Demon Lord Clan Boss, 3.5 in Hydra, a 5 out of 5 in Doom Tower Waves. Totally agree there. Listen, we're going to run him on some poison combust teams, but Kalvalax can be ran anywhere on any sort of team, right? You might want to build them a little bit differently, maybe a little bit tankier, right? If you just want to rely on all of those poisons. 4 poisons on all enemies at the start of a round that's an insane amount of guaranteed damage, essentially, provided they're not cleansed, right? Iron Twins, a 4 out of 5. Shogun, a 3.5. Ice Golem, all the normal dungeons he's amazing in. And then Dragonheart, he's also amazing. Scarab King, Frost Spider, Eternal Dragon, Dark Fae, all 4 or higher out of 5 stars. Nether Spider of a 3.5, or excuse me, a 4.5 as well. So a lot of areas you can use. Well, one of the dang best poisoners out there in the game, right? Is a 3.5 multiplier on his A1. Very hard hitting, especially given his multipliers, or his base attack, rather. He has a 2 multiplier, but keep in mind that can be a 4-time hitter, so it can definitely add up the damage on the A2. And on the A3, the Storm of Vitriol, the AoE attack that he has, is a 3.5 multiplier on the AoE, plus the poison count is 1/100th of enemy max HP per poison. Now, that's not 1/10, unfortunately. That's 1/100th, so it doesn't stack up to be as high as you may expect. It's not like he's pulling out Royal Guard or Husk type numbers out of this ability, but provided that you do have a lot of poisons on the target, it can scale up pretty nicely, right? Okay, so mastery recommendation. Ours, we'll show you what we went with here. It's very similar to this, I would say. So let's recently used. Take a look at Mr. Kalvalax here. All right, so we have perception, and a lot of it. Triple perception. I mean, we want speed and we want accuracy, so why not perception? Is arguably the best set in the entire game, so we're going to take advantage of that in today's build. What are the stat priorities for Kalvalax? Well, simple enough. Accuracy first and foremost. Keep in mind, the speed doesn't matter as it pertains to the first part of his passive. It just started the start of the round, right? So kind of like Hegemon, he's just going to kind of go first with his passive. He doesn't actually take a turn, but he does go first in the tune of all those poisons that he's dishing out at the start of the battle, right? That being said, we do want him speed tuned appropriately, especially if we're running him with another combust champion on the team. And then the more often he's going, the more chances that we have of placing additional poisons, obviously, and doing additional damage. So first and foremost, accuracy. After that, I'm looking at speed. I'm looking at crit rate, crit damage as well, trying to maximize that damage, take advantage of those multipliers and that base level attack. And as always, even with nukers, even with debuffers, we want survivability to make sure that they can stay alive, right? So I actually have a pretty good, I think I have like I have accuracy on the banner, right? Accuracy on the banner. We have crit damage on the amulet. We have defense on the ring. Again, we don't want to totally negate survivability on any champion that we're building on any team, right? We have speed on the boots. We have attack percentage on the chest, and we have crit damage on the gauntlet. So we're really trying to maximize our damage from Kalvalax in this build. But again, even if you went with no crit rate and no crit damage on Kalvalax, he's still going to score a ton of damage. It's all about those poisons. Now, that's being said, you still should try to build at least 100% crit rate and take advantage of some of those extra damage that he can bring to the table in addition. His attack is easy to scale up as well, as we've already discussed in the video. For blessings, I went with Brimstone. What's better than a lot of poison damage? A lot of poison damage and then smite on top of it. Why not, right? So we only have him at 1-star awakened right now, but we do have a chance at landing that smite. Moreover, we get that whopping 7,500 HP, which is just absolutely insane. Here are our masteries, guys. As I mentioned, we went really similar to what they had, or what they recommended, I should say, on hellhades.com. We did end with War Master as our tier 6 option. Most importantly, Master Hexer and Sniper were made for a champion like this. A lot of increased duration of poisons, albeit he does have that ability already built into his A1, but it's nice to have. Sniper does synergize, as we mentioned, with that A1 ability, so it's worth picking up on this champion. And it also synergizes with his passive. Keep in mind, a 50% chance of placing the poison will now be bumped up to 55% through every time he takes a turn on the second part of that passive ability. We also picked up Life Drinker, Cycle of Violence, just to help the skills and the healing kind of churn with the damage. Okay, guys, that's the build. I love this dude in triple perception, right? I'm sure you could build him in Relentless, get extra turns, try to stack up that poison. Heck, I've even seen some players run him in Regen, in Immortal, and try to make him like a solo Kalvalax as well. So, you know, do what's best for your account, as we always say on the channel. I'm just giving you pretty broad recommendations, which I feel would fit the most wide array of use cases for you guys out there. All right, guys, let's get into some speed runs. So this is my Dragon Hard 10 team. Pretty simple, right? Basically, we have a reset champion. It could probably be Kymar is probably going to be better than Yumeko. Not probably, definitely better than Yumeko, but I have her on the team because I don't have Kymar. I was trying to slow build Kymar for something else. I digress, but we have Yumeko here, so we could probably shave off a little bit more time with a Kymar. He does have the poisons on an AoE as well. Kymar on his A1, keep that in mind. But I digress. What we're looking for here is 3 poison damage dealers, minimum, 3 poisoners, and then a poison combustor. We have Eleanor here, with her combustibility. Xavia is another very good one. There's like Karam. There's some single target poison combustors that are good against bosses as well. But we have Eleanor. I love it that the combustibility deals all damage from all poisons instantly with no damage penalty, which is really good. She also has a nice A1 with HP burn. Can't be resisted. Might as well. And she brings an AoE with poisons herself. We have Bad Alcazar on the team as well because he can solo at the end after everybody else dies because he's very tanky. He can heal himself and cleanse himself along with the rest of the team as well. And he dishes out poisons. We have Tomb Lord as well. Same reason. He has 4 poisons on 1 ability on a 3-turn cooldown. Cooldown's not important. You can easily use a Taurus, an epic champion who has 4 poisons. He basically doesn't kill himself, but he almost kills himself to dish out the poisons. But it still works. All you want is champions who can dish out a lot of poisons. That's all you really need to make this strategy work. So don't pay attention too much to the names. Another guy that we just did a guide on actually here on the channel is Richtof the Bold, right? He's bringing 3 poisons on 1 ability on all enemies as well. So Tomb Lord, Kalvalax, Bad Alcazar, they're placing our poisons. Eleanor at the end is exploding them, and then we just repeat. That's the team. So here we go. If you don't have a Bad Alcazar, but you do have, you know, some poison damage dealers and maybe a Kalvalax. There he goes with his poisons, by the way. You can use a Staltus Dragon Bane. He's a great option to solo the dragon at the end in all difficulties. All right, so here we go. Place all the poisons, and then we combust them. That's it. And now we're going to come in here. We're going to place the poisons again with Kalvalax. We're going to Dance of Time. He's going to come in there. You can see the damage isn't that crazy on the Storm of Vitriol, as you guys could see there, unfortunately. But then again, we just basically rinse and repeat there, right? We repeat everything. And then again, third wave, here we are. And you guessed it, he's dishing out a bunch of poisons. Even with those extra attacks, again, it is notable that his damage isn't out of this world. All that damage is coming from the poisons. Now his job is done. He did tons of damage vis-a-vis his poisons plus the activation on all the waves. He came to the dragon. He placed all of his poisons again. He took a turn. I think he placed an additional poison or whatever. And that's it. The rest of the job is going to be a solo job or a duo or even a trio maybe. We'll see here from Bad Alcazar, Tomb Lord, and Yumeko. Tomb Lord I do have in Regen and Immortal. You can see that Bad Al's health just got a little bit low, so I kind of like double dipping just in case things get a little bit dicey, because the most important thing on these runs is that we have, especially when we're farming overnight or whatever, that we have 100% success rate versus, you know, trying to beat it in the fastest time known to man, right? So take that into consideration as well when you're building your own teams. You don't want to have a 90% win rate. No, no, no. If you can help it, right? You're way better off spending an additional minute on these dungeons and having 100% success rate. That way, because think about it, you're throwing away 10% of all of your energy ever when you have a 90% success rate. That's not good. All right, let's go ahead and sell these. Most likely, yes. But as you guys can see, Kalvalax, dishing out a decent amount of damage with all those poisons, even though he died pretty early on the actual dragon battle. You saw my top time was 35 seconds as well in dragon. That was about 1 minute and 40 seconds. I used a seer plus a Staltus team for my best time. I think Jingwan actually too. Stage 25 Ice Golem, same exact team. This is a beautiful thing about these combust teams. Once I have it, set up and tuned and yada, 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 I don't need to go do anything. The team setup is exactly the same. The speeds are exactly the same. Everything is the same. This is stage 25, I should mention, though, of Ice Golem. Obviously, we need to switch over to HP Burn when we get to the hard difficulties. But it's the same drill, right? We're going to get through here. We're going to place all those poisons. We didn't land a critical hit. Now that I'm looking at it right now, did you see that Tomb Lord landed a weak hit with his A2 there? That's why we didn't kill everybody on this wave. So I think maybe I ought to replace Tomb Lord on this team with maybe a Taurus. Maybe we'll go that route instead. Either way, there's a lot of spirit poisoners out there in the game, so just take that into consideration. We mentioned earlier, obviously, Tomb Lord. We mentioned Richtof. We have Kalvalax himself, so Spirit seems to be, even Nethro with that A1, Spirit Affinity, right? Seems like Spirit is all about the poisons in this game. Anyway, here we go. Theodore the Savant, right? All right. Can we kill this last mob here? Golly. I want to get to that Ice Golem, man. Oh, and we're burning all of our best abilities. Oh, we burn our combust on him as well. Hey, at least it gets the job done. So we go in there, and just like last time, the way that I have him built here, it's important to know he's gonna die, right? He did land a smite there, which is helpful. He's gonna die on the first big attack, and we don't have a reviver on a team like this. So, that's part of the gig, right? He speed farms us to the boss, and then everybody else takes over. Basically, the poisons of Battle Khazar, etc., take over here. But we could definitely mimic a build that's a little bit closer to a Tomb Lord and have that built-in rage regen, that rage regen. I'm talking about a different game. Just recorded a video for my Watcher of Realms channel right before this one. Don't mind me. Rage regen, not in this game. So we could focus on the regeneration of the HP as well. So you guys get the point here, right? Basically, I'll come back to you. I want to show you a really fun, you could use a Xavia team, by the way. I will say that Xavia works better than Eleanor on Ice Golem just because she can deny revival on the 2 minions. That way you don't have to deal with the ignored defense on the Ice Golem himself. So if you have both, or if you just have Xavia, you're not going to regret it. She'll be a great option for you guys as well. The preferred option on Ice Golem here. Granted, she does have that irresistible burn, though, so when Ice Golem hard, I would switch back over to Eleanor personally. Anyway, I digress. Not that you see a lot of her in Ice Golem hard either, but there are some teams that use her just for that A1 ability and help on the waves, etc. So this Ice Golem is almost dead here. I want to mess around in the arena with this guy before I let you guys go. You certainly don't see any Kalvalax in the arena, but you can have some fun with him, provided you're not, endgame and going against Polymorph, 6-star Polymorph every single battle. He's a really cool champion. So hopefully we have a Combust in here. Combust, we don't even have her alive, Ash. We're going to have to wait, unfortunately, unless we can do enough damage without waiting, but I think we're going to have to wait. All right. Need to wait a little bit longer for those poisons to tick off, and then we're going to jump into the arena. Now, there's an arena blessing that poisons deal more damage, so we could go all out here. Let me just see what that blessing. It's a blessing that literally I have never used. I have messed around with the HP burn one, but let's take a look at that. Is it the same one? I don't even know. Let's go ahead and go over to the arena and see what we can do. All right, guys. So here we are in the arena. I do want to go to recently used and just take a look at that blessing. Obviously, especially with Polymorph, I really haven't ran into anybody who uses, unless they're just trying to be cheeky about it, who uses this blessing. But let's just take a look at it. So Incinerate is the HP burn, and then it is Lethal Dose, right? Increase the damage enemies receive from poison debuffs by this champion in the arena. Will ignore 35% of the champion's resistance when placing poison debuffs. So increase the damage and all enemies receive from poison by 50%. It can go all the way up to ignoring 35% of the champion's resistance when placing poisons, and a 200% damage, right? So there's definitely some intrigue there with these, provided, you know, who's running these in a polymorph meta? Nobody is. But let's mess around. We are going against one polymorph, I think I saw there, maybe two. But let's just see what you can do. I do have Xayvia on the team here. Not in good gear, but she's going last for obvious reasons. Well, she doesn't even need to go fast. The funny thing is we could run 2 Kalvalaxes. They go first automatically, right? Run a fast Xayvia and just come in and combust them. So anyway, let's see what we can do here. That's the A3. Oh, wow. He was just toast. Now, we can't do anything here because of Stone Skin, but you guys saw that, right? I mean, we didn't even have to combust because of that extra damage, I feel like. I don't know. Let's see if we can win this one. So I want to start placing some poisons on Sun Wukong, but let's see. Do we use our revive? I think we did. No, yeah, unfortunately. All right. Let's try one more here. I just want to see. That was intriguing to me. Loss aside, right? Let's just go against, geez, these teams. Okay, well, this is fine, right? Well, hopefully I go first. I don't know. If I don't go first, then we're screwed again. But let's see. All right, so poisons on everybody. Beautiful. Not so beautiful. But they have a Sun Wukong, right? So what I want to do is just burn the A1. I want to come in here, even though it's a negative affinity match. Oh, gosh. Xayvia, I hope you're faster than Sun Wukong. Okay. So we're going to combust everything. And, are you kidding me? Deny revival. That's what we were trying to hope for there. As you guys can see, better in my mind than in reality. Let's go against some easy little team here. Just to show proof of concept, damn it. Not working out. This is why you don't see the double. But hopefully you guys, like I said, proof of concept, jokes aside, hopefully you see kind of where my mind is going here, right? Like what could be in the future with some tweaks to polymorph mainly. You could see teams like this. Load up a bunch of poisons, use that blessing, build a faster Xayvia than I have built here, and then hopefully she actually gets a turn here. Let's see. Come on. Okay, perfect. So this is the use case. Boom. Poisons combusted, all block revive, right? Before anybody even gets a chance to go on the enemy team. So again, will we ever see this be a meta inside the game? Probably not, but you never know. I would actually love to see an area or an arena in the future of the game where buffs and debuffs, or debuffs, excuse me, are actually viable again, right? But for that, we'd have to get rid of, we'd have to come up with a solution to polymorph. You know, how can we dodge it? How can we utilize debuffs in the arena, right? How can we do it? Look at this. Garrow might even solo me, even with this brilliant strategy here, right? Let's see. Could she take out Arbiter? Revive. There we go. There we go. All right. All is right in the world, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the guide on Kalvalax. Had a little fun at the end as well. Much love. And as always, take care, guys.